we have this two structural problems that we do not give education about entrepreneurship and financial education. And I want to tackle that. Everybody should learn entrepreneurship. Everybody should learn financial education so that we could actually grasp the reality after we leave school and not being theorized and like for hours and hours about some theorem that we're not going to apply in real life.
Welcome to another episode of the Dan Lok Show. Today, I have a young entrepreneur joining us, and I think it's a very, very interesting connection that we have because as I brought him on, you see that I've been able to inspire this young entrepreneur to start his journey on entrepreneurship, and we've been just talking back and forth before we start this interview. And I think it's very useful for all my listeners to think about how do you monetize your influence. Because it's one thing to say I have a big social media following, and that's nice, but exactly how do you build a business around that? So, Brando, welcome to the show. And before we dive into it, I would love to hear a little bit of your story.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Dan. You live in my heart. You really helped me a lot during the first process of starting businesses. And you are a figure that inspired me to this day. I love the conversation. We just did a beautiful YouTube video for my channel. And yeah, I can't stress how honored I am to be here. So thanks.
Yes.
Well, my story started actually pretty young. I was about 11, 12 years old. I used to watch YouTube videos of musicians, people that just play instruments, and put those different frames in the same YouTube video but playing different instruments. So there was one frame of playing the guitar and then one frame playing the piano. And they put it all together in the edit, the after edit, and I just said to myself, wow, I need to do that. I loved music. I like to play instruments, and really was the kind of person that went to YouTube to learn how to play stuff.
Yes.
So I got in contact with the YouTube platform pretty young. And sadly, 1 year later, my father passed away. It was a car accident, so it was unexpected. And suddenly I had some kind of money, which was not loads of money, but it was more than a 13-year-old would ever expect to receive. I would only have access to that money 5 years later when I turned 18, because in Brazil it's like locked until you turn to that age.
Until you're an adult, yes.
Yeah. So I always ask myself, how would I spend that money? Because I want to have the responsibility to spend it as something that my father would be proud, as it was his hard sweat that brought that money to me. And I wouldn't have access to it unless he'd worked hard for it. So I wanted to give it significance to it, but I always thought, how would I spend it? And then the first answer that came to my mind, since I wanted to go to medical school, was maybe I'll build a doctor's office so that I can receive the customers and the patients. But 6 months later, after starting medical school, I dropped it. I just couldn't see the value in it because, well, I wasn't fit for it. I had this one subject in medical school where we would go climb the Brazilian favelas and get in contact with people that did not have access to the private medical system, only the government one. And some of them were so bad and injured and in miserable states of health that those were those final moments of them. And then I brought that negative energy to my home, and that impacted my mom, my sister, and those around me. And I always thought, I don't want to do that every day. I cannot be the guy that comes home and brings this negative energy towards everyone I love. So I dropped it. And then I dropped it. I started asking myself again, how will I spend that money? Because I would not build a doctor's office anymore, so how would I spend it?
Yes.
And then probably the best thing that happened to me was I did not find that answer, because that made me go to YouTube, the best teacher I've ever had in my life, and look for how can I invest my money? Because since I didn't know how to spend it, I would be better making that money have higher returns than they were while I didn't know how to invest it. Yes. So I looked for it in YouTube, and then I found some channels as yours and others, Brazilians, that were pretty huge back then. And that made me think that financial education was so easy, so simple, that maybe in 11-year-old that we've taught that in school would grasp it and know it and be able to apply and practice in its real life. But yet we don't have a word of it in school. We don't heard of financial education. We don't heard of entrepreneurship. It just doesn't come with the curriculum that is encompassed in Brazilian education. So the vision that we all have is, if someone is talking about economy, if someone is talking about investments, it's going to be a guy in a suit that's going to show up in a journal and speak pretty words that we don't know anything about. And I want to turn that in a way that maybe we could be more accessible to people, to the Brazilian people, to the market, to the mass market that would know the language. So I started building a YouTube channel. A YouTube channel that would encompass all the competencies that I have developed in my life about editing videos on YouTube, about doing Photoshop, about mixing audio, and bringing it all together to talk about investments and entrepreneurship. Because those were the things that I most saw. There were structural issues in Brazilian society. We go in school, we just have one way. We're taught that it's just one way. You're going to be an employee of a big company. But since in society, the two parts to work, you need to have the employee, you need to have the company. You cannot just produce employees. So I needed to, in my channel, to make that clear and give content that would actually make people understand why everybody should learn entrepreneurship and why everybody should learn financial education, so that we could actually grasp the reality after we leave school and not being theorized for hours and hours about some theorem that we're not going to apply in real life.
So I like that, because now, fast forward, you have the largest Brazilian YouTube channel on entrepreneurship and personal finance, and it started off as the kind of like a problem that you wanted to solve for yourself, right?
Exactly.
Where, hey, you know what? If I have this problem, let me find the answers, and maybe other people would have this problem too.
Yeah, that was exactly it. I had this problem, didn't know how to solve it. I went to YouTube because for all I know, it had all the answers. And it did. I found those people that taught me. And then it led me to some reading, some books about finances and some books about entrepreneurship. And then I started to apply that in real life in my digital business that was started as YouTube, and it just grew to so much more than that. And then it led me to have another, you could call satellite businesses that all support this ecosystem. Just started with a simple first video on YouTube.
Maybe walk us through your current business model. How does YouTube tie to every other things that you do, and then what do you do to kind of structure those? I'm curious to hear that.
Yeah, so it all started with this channel called Jovens de Negócios, which would translate as business youngsters.
Yes.
And it's the only first stream of revenue that I thought it was possible to have was Google AdSense, which is basically the worst stream of revenue for every YouTube channel. Yep. And I realized that first I could maybe affiliate with some products, people that were like me. They wanted to give content about entrepreneurship. I could maybe be an Amazon associate and sell books and get that link. And that was making me get into another streams. And then I thought to myself, maybe I can get this language that I know just I can talk to this kind of audience, young audience, and develop my own product and develop my own way of communicating and charging for it. Because, and then I started a membership called, the translation would be What the School Doesn't Teach You. And we have two branches of knowledge there. It's entrepreneurship and financial education, basically. So it's a very light model with the, like, class 1, 2, 3 of what you need to know about those areas, and that is what keeps the business running. But we also have partnerships with other companies. We have sponsors and all those kinds of things. But the curious thing is about the other businesses that sustained this is when I first started, I did not have the money to hire an editor.
Yes.
The guy would charge me like $100 for a month for edited videos. I didn't have that. I mean, I had the money of my father, but didn't want to use it because that money I wouldn't have it myself. It wasn't him, so it didn't.
Yes.
It was as it didn't count.
Yes.
So I didn't have a current flow of money coming in, and then I got to an editor and said, dude, I can pay you that. So if he said, you can pay me that, you can pay me that. But after 6 months, I got into contact with him again and said, dude, now I can pay you.
Yes.
Now things are starting to, the wheels spinning
work
faster.
Yes.
And then he came full-time work for me. But the guy was so good that other YouTube channels and other businessmen were looking at the beautiful job that he was doing editing my videos with motion graphics, animations. And they were starting to make proposals, make offers for him.
Yes.
And say, oh, this guy is paying you X, so I'm paying you 3X. It's nothing for me. I just want you to edit my videos. And I realized that someday I would lose him because I would not compete for money.
Yes.
So I told him, man, what do you think we start a business venture? We start a company about video editing. We're going to scale the shit out of this business. We're going to bring a lot of customers. And Jovens de Negócios, my channel, is going to be but one of the many customers in our base.
Love that.
So he said, yeah, let's go 50-50 on it. I invested in it. I give all the resources so that he could start hiring and do what he's so much good at doing. So we hired a CEO that would make all the organization tick, and then he would just go with the videos. Now, this company has 8 employees, but what we realized is the best strategy for us is not just to get more customers, because it's not really scalable. You see, if we want to generate more revenue, we cannot keep hiring for the much of customers that we are bringing to the business, because we want more customers, we need to hire more people. That doesn't stop.
Correct.
So we realized that we should put a filter. Which filter? Our business is called Carouse. Our business would be the premium brand business of YouTube. No one has a business for editing videos specifically on YouTube. And our customers are just going to be the customers that have over 100,000 subs. We're not going to take anyone that's under that. Why? Because they don't have the money to it. And we want to associate our brand with big channels. So basically our marketing strategies ROI positive, because we earn money to, like, in the 5 to 10 seconds at the end of each video that we edit, we put this video was edited by Kraus Videos.
Yes.
And then we market. And then the people that do not have the money to buy our services month to month, those are the people that are going to buy the info products because they want to have the quality of Kraus videos in their own channel.
That do themselves.
Exactly, to do it themselves. So that's scalable, and that's what we started doing. And that business was, we generated traffic to it because of Jovens de Negócios that I started. And it just started gaining a lot of traction. And it's a business that in reais is valued in 5 million reais today, which is about $1 million.
I like that, and I want to kind of dissect and extract a couple lessons for for just my listeners, right? So a couple things I think you did very well. One, you turned your expense into revenue. So in business, if you have certain expenses that you are going to pay anyway, because you're going to pay an editor, you're gonna do that, you're gonna spend money one way or the other. But you're like, hey, maybe you can turn it into a business. Right? Maybe we can actually form a partnership. Then you can take care of my editing. At the same time, we can service other clients and other customers. And that pays for everything. And we can actually make money doing this. So I think that's very, very brilliant. And second thing you did, you went high ticket.
Yeah.
You went high ticket, right?
Absolutely.
And so out of everybody else, because in the editing world, and same thing in North America, a lot of people compete based on price. Right? But you were like, no, I'm going to focus on the premium clients who could, each good video is worth quite a bit for them, substantial amount, right?
Yeah, you cannot differentiate a commodity. So
Correct.
You need to be your sense of value must be perceived by the customer if he wants to pay high. And people want to associate a premium brand to their channel because that gives them that gives importance, that gives them significance.
Yes. And the third thing you did, which is kind of like a built-in viral marketing, by at the end promoting your brand so that others could see it. They say, oh, he's a brand. If I want that kind of editing, I could either buy the info product, which is do it yourself, or I could hire them if I want to, right? Either way, it's good. Either way is good. So right now, then you have multiple streams of income with AdSense, with the video editing service, with your sponsorship, with your affiliate, with your own products. So very much so, the YouTube then kind of drives the revenue for all these other things, right? The income streams.
Yeah, that's where it all started. We have a vision for a business that's beyond just partnerships and sponsorships and info products, because we actually want to make an impact in Brazilian society for what it's worth. We have this two structural problems that we do not give education about, entrepreneurship and financial education, and I want to tackle that. You know, our vision for my company is to build a system, to build technology that is associated with artificial intelligence that is going to personalize education, so that people go to school not to learn technical formulas and math stuff or just that. That is important as well. People should learn that, but it's nothing that it couldn't learn at their homes in a system that is personalized to them. They go to school because they want to learn so much more, like social interactions, emotional intelligence, those kind of things that you can just develop living it, and we do not have anything about that in our school system. And that's what I want to do. I want to give such awareness to this issue that our government is going to have no other way than making it mainstream to public schools in Brazil, and everyone is going to follow them afterwards.
I love that. I love that. And I'm curious, when you started making money, what happened?
Well, what had happened is that it turned out differently than what I always expected it to be. You see, the reasons that I wanted to go after money in the first place was just money for money. I wanted to be successful. I want to have the car, I want to have the house. You know, I want to have the social status that money brought. As that was what I saw. You know, I watched the boss in a Bentley, and I was like, whew. Oh, that guy is neat, man. I like that. I want that card as well. And so what I realized is money made me move forward, but it motivated me for the wrong reasons that I would just find out afterwards. I discovered the right reasons after money came in. Earlier this year, I sold 20% of the ecosystem of the YouTube channel and the other streams of income. And it was valued for a lot of money that I wouldn't even imagine that I was capable of obtaining. So when that came into my bank account, I was very happy for the first 24 hours. And then I still had the same friends, food tasted the same, the ceiling in my roof was the same. Okay, maybe I could go to more fancy restaurants. Maybe I could afford more, you know, nice stuff. But I knew that that was not what was going to get me happy. What was going to get me happy was the little things, you know, the things that are free, that made me be so grateful for the little things that I had in life, that I have a wealthy mom that she calls me every day to know how I am. I have a beautiful sister just studying Portugal and realizing her dreams. I have a dog that I love. I need to I love walking the park with him. Just little things, because we want to latch, we want to attach our happiness to the things that we're going to keep buying. It's like we get that sense of dopamine, but then it just goes down, and the only way for it to get back up is to buy more stuff. It never ends, and I don't want that. I want to be grateful for the things I have now.
Correct. And I think for money, it's where we don't want to buy things to impress people because it is a validation, it's an approval, right? Just like you talk about the boss of the Bentley, it wasn't. Some people think, oh, then get the car to film the video. It's just my car. Trust me, it's like I would not do that just to film video. It makes no sense, right? But on your journey, I'm curious, as you grow, as now you have more followers and more subscribers, that also comes with the price for fame. So I want to hear your story about. I'm sure even when you go like walk around in Brazil, your fans come up to you and say, "Hey, man, you know what? I watch your video." I'm sure you get that, right? And what are some of so that's the good part of it. That's a good part of fame, right? Sure. What's the negativity when it comes to fame?
Well, you see, there was this one day that I was in vacation because I was just I had just finished launching a product. It was one of the most stressing weeks of my life.
Yes.
And after that, I said, I need 2 days of vacation, just 2 days.
Yes.
And I'm going to a far town. I'm just going to be there. And I want to play table tennis with my friends. That was what I was doing at the time. And then my phone rang.
Yeah.
And then this guy from this huge technology company that I would be an idiot not to answer the call. He said, "Oh, you have this huge opportunity. Would you like to partnership with us?" And then just said, "Dude, I'm playing table tennis. Shut up, man. I don't know where you got my number. I don't know what you get made to do it, but I don't want to talk to you right now." And I acted wrong. I should not have done that because I didn't want to have anything to do with the business at that time because I was just so stressed from the past week.
Yes.
But that made me think that the price is that you must exercise tolerance. You must know what you are getting into. Otherwise, you're not responsible with this huge audience, this huge people that we're impacting.
Yeah.
I mean, after that, the guy never called me again, so I lost it. So that came up with a lesson. So yeah, but at the most parts, when walking down the street and going to the malls, and you know, it's all fun. People want to take photographs. That's so great. I love watching people really recognize the work and telling stories about how one of my videos also influenced them to start their own ventures, and that's priceless.
Yes, yes, and I think that did you inspire a lot of young people also start their YouTube channel?
You know, every day there's some messages that come up that one story it's more beautiful than the other, and that's that thing. Maybe in our day-to-day activities, because we're working with media, we cannot grasp the real impact that we do.
Yes, 100%. Yeah,
and maybe it's just those stories that bring you back to put your feet in the ground to the reality and says, "Wow, I'm baffled. I don't know how that happened, but." I just need to be grateful that it did.
Yes. And I remember when I made the decision to kind of go all in on social media, there was I think a few days I was hesitant because I knew this is not something that you can undo, right? Once you're in, you're all in. This is it, right? Because people cannot forget you. Once they see you, they know you, your brand is out there, and that's what happens. And when I made the decision, is this something what I wanted to do? Because you have to give up some form of privacy. You have to give up some form of, in some way, your fans and your work kind of comes first, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's, but when I made the decision, I never looked back. And I said, you know what? I think this is the right thing to do.
Did you ever had any exploding moment, such as the one I just shared with you, or something that you're like, the last thing that I wanted to do was to give, photographs away or something?
I think is when I went to, when I was traveling to other countries, that's when it hit me. Like if I'm in Vancouver, I walk around downtown, I get recognized all the time. It's not nothing. But when I go to like Japan, when I go to like a foreign country, when like you would think, nah, no one would know me, right? And and let's say I go to Vegas, right? And I would walk into, it's interesting, I would walk into let's say a luxury store. The salesperson would say, "Oh, Dan, I watch your videos. You know, I learned how to sell." I had one incident where I was in, I think it was either Dior or Gucci or something like that, right? The guy was actually, he said, "I started off as like the lower level salesperson. Now I'm the sales manager because I watch your videos," right?
Wow.
Like things like that, where that's when it kind of really hit me. It's like you said, we don't know the impact of the work that we have. And I cannot even fathom. I still cannot fathom. Even to this date, I still cannot fathom, right? So it's, I would say those are the moments.
That's so impressive because the thing that it happens when you start making a YouTube channel in English, that the world knows English. So you could be venturing in Japanese streets and people are going to recognize you.
Yes. And it's just everywhere. Like when I travel, it's when I travel, when it's everywhere, then, because I remember even the moment, like it's one thing if you get recognized once. Once, you know,
that's
but
a big deal. Like the first
like
time.
in a foreign country is a big deal, right? But when you go there and then you see like the minute we landed, and I remember the airport, there was someone pushing the car next to us. That person, you know, was asking for a photo. That's great. And then it could be on the street, it could be salesperson, it could be like anywhere, right? So I find that humbling. I just find that humbling.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, my wife was like, Jenny, my wife was like, you know, is it gonna be like this, like for a long time? I said, yeah, I think so, because as we grow, you get, you know, you have the momentum, right? You get more exposure.
You are the personification of consistency, of discipline, because I would bet you have your channel for over 3 years now, right?
Yes, more than that, yes. Yes.
More than that. Yeah,
yes.
That was basically when I first started watching you. You would have for 300,000. I'm not exaggerating. It was like really like not at the very beginning, but it was about that. I remember a video that you released before you hit 1 million subs that you said, I will hit 1 million subs. I will get the golden thing from YouTube, you know?
Yeah.
And so after all this time, you don't keep a week posting YouTube videos. You're active on Instagram. You have all those social media work that you do. You're doing podcasts now. So
correct.
Yeah, it's the consistency is the game.
And I think consistency, I think it trumps in intensity. I always say, hey, you know, you want to build a YouTube channel, you get into it for, I'm going to make 20 videos. No, it's not the 20 videos, it's the consistency of, and for anyone listening, because you may be inspired to start your YouTube channel, don't do it unless you're willing to put in a few years. Like, don't even bother. Don't even bother. I'm going to try for 3 months. Don't bother.
Yeah, right? It's not easy, but it's simple. I mean, you perfectly put it. It's not 20 videos that you post in a week and hope one of them will blow up.
No.
It's 2 videos a week that you can start, and consistency. You spread those 20 videos across a huge number of weeks, and you just work so that the quality of it is increasing, and the content that you're producing is actually helping people to achieve something, to put in practice what you've learned in the first place, and are externalizing in form of content. And it could do that in numbers of ways, but the similarities between what you do in Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and LinkedIn, it is producing content, quality content with consistency, is mastering the game of SEO, and then just, you know, doing it for the long run, because there's gonna be one day that the number of subscribers is not gonna stop increasing. Every day, one more subscriber will hit you and will subscribe to you, and after that, it doesn't stop. If it doesn't stop either.
Yes. Do you see any opportunities for let's say a foreign company, entrepreneur wanting to expand to Brazil? Are there any opportunities that you see that could be good for companies outside of Brazil?
Yeah, you see what's funny? Like Morgan Stanley just released a note saying that foreign investors should buy Brazilian stock because our currency, real, is so devalued. Our stock exchange was the one that had most devaluation. I don't know if that's, but it decreased a lot. It was the stock, the index that decreased the most in dollars and all over the world. So it became very cheap. But when we look at the needs of the Brazilian people, what we tend to notice is people like to get personalized services that we do not have. We have like this huge bureaucratic institutions like those banking that do not provide the people with what they actually need. They need ease. They do not want to go to the bank. They do not want to have those times when they like to wait in line and talk to a manager. They want to get it all done in the cell phone. So the fintech market here is bubbling. It's the market where I'm inserted in. And you see, what are those fintechs doing? They pick one service that they do very well and that nobody else can do as well as they do, and then they market the shit out of it.
Yes.
And then they are basically every day making the huge banking institutions lose market share.
They're disruptors. They're disrupting the industry.
Absolutely, because
Yeah.
banks try to be everything for everybody. What they end up
Yes.
being is nothing for nobody. And the fintechs choose very specifically the kind of service that they want to provide, and they do it very, very well. You could talk about the needs for words today. Like Brazil is really big and it's really embryonary. It's really really is small. It has a lot of traction in sustainable energy. Sustainable energy is a market that it's growing so fast. When you see Tesla cars, when we see like BMW and see Audi, all those companies that did not have yet entered Brazil, and we have a huge demand for it. I mean, I would wish like I had a Tesla because of the vision, because of like the shared common goal of knowing that that's the future. We cannot depend on gas, on oil anymore. We know that eventually it's going to end. It's going to the velocity in which we consume it is bigger than the one that it is produced by natural ways. So we can see those kinds of similarities that we can tackle, and for the Brazilian market is specific for it to grow.
So fintech, sustainable, renewable energy. Interesting.
And everything that's personalized, because we have a lot of bureaucracy in Brazil because of the government, the way that things are made, like companies in general. So there are some companies that, as you said, are disruptors, and they do something that it seems so simple if you're talking to a Vancouver or New York, LA perspective, because everybody's doing that there. But in Brazil, it's like it's new. Like you do something that a customer likes. What? I mean, no, it's like it's the company kinds of sort of view, the perspective. It's not the customer. So when you start actually caring and providing those kinds of services, people are gonna go for you.
Then you stand out, and very much like a blue ocean, in other words. That's what you're saying.
If I was an alien and I would look at anywhere in the world, I would wish to live in Brazil and start a business there, because I think it's the it has such a demand for everything. Because I was talking to some Norwegian guys out there here in Brazil, and I was, dude, why did you leave Norway? Because it's awesome there. You have like one of the highest riches, and society lives very well. And in Brazil, there's so much issues, and they said, where there's issues, there are opportunities. If we want to grow our business, we need to be in developing markets so that we can really multiply what we have to offer. And then they went here. So they got me into this state where I must really find the issues, that where the places that have the most problems are also that they have the more opportunities for growth.
What's one piece of advice that you would have for let's say someone who want to be an influencer, or who are maybe already an influencer and they want to build a business around what they do? Kind of follow your footstep a bit, that they have certain followings, but they don't really know how to monetize that.
Yeah, a lot of people go into YouTube and Instagram and starting posting content for them to grow, and suddenly they end up with a significant, substantial chunk of audience, and then they do not know what to do with it. But you can go step by step. I mean, if you're in YouTube, eventually you're gonna get Google AdSense, but you cannot stay there, because that's the one that's gonna be less significant for what you overall can do. You need to start prospecting partnerships. You maybe hire someone with his only job to bring companies that have similarities to the content you're producing. Maybe they have products they want to offer to an audience. And if you know that if you have produced enough free content over the years, then you have huge credibility, you have huge authority with your audience, because you're not hammering it, selling things all over. So if you really think that you're going for this for the long term, and after you spend 1 year producing free content, you can start scaling up, hiring people, and making those people bring those sponsors, those partners, and maybe also developing a content that you can sell, that it's yours. Because the audience that you're talking to, it can identificate. You're like, it looks at you and it says, this guy's like me. I like him. It can relate to you. So when you produce a content that is yours, it will be the highest conversion. You can actually help them by offering them a step-by-step course of what you're telling them, or the content of what you're producing.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, and after that, you can build satellite businesses as well. I mean, if you want to sell merch, clothes, and about your brand, you can do that. If you want to start a editing video company, you can do that as well.
Yes.
If you want to build a community with people that want to talk about the content that have similarities with what you're producing, you can do that. And you can start investing in other people. You can do media for equity, which is you want to maybe market some products or some company, and if you're big enough, you can do so. I have this huge audience. I love your product. I use it. I want to make other people know it. Would you trade your equity for my media, for my audience?
Yes.
And then they sell part of their equity to you in exchange for your market.
Yes.
So loads of things you can do for making your business and
I think what we're talking about here is very much approaching like a business. Don't approach it like you're just a content creator, because content creator, they don't make a lot of money. They don't know how to build a business. But it's very much, think of it, you have the audience, but how do you serve their needs, and how do you build a business around their needs to be able to offer different things? And a lot of YouTubers, I think, is also they're not very comfortable making an offer. They're not very comfortable, like, mentioning about product. They're like very shy, like, ooh, I don't want to know, like, I don't want to sell. I don't know how my audience would feel. But if you believe in what you do, you should be excited, and you should be very proud to share that with your audience. It's not an issue. It's not an issue at all.
Yeah, people have this mental block that for you to sell, you're ripping people off.
Yeah.
It's like you're not, if you think that you don't have confidence in what you're selling, it's like you don't believe in your own product, because if you know that what you're selling can help them, you're going to do it from the heart. You're not convincing them to buy your product. Like the attributes of your product, they speak for themselves. You just have to know the right way to market it, like to get the value across so that people can see what's already on your eyes about that product.
Yes. Breno, for my audience, if they want to, well, they have to understand, Brazilian, but if they want to find a little bit more about your work, about your channel, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, we actually speak Portuguese. So they do have to know Portuguese to understand something that I say. I don't know if there's the automatic translations on YouTube can do any good. I wouldn't bet it on it. Well, I have a YouTube channel called Jovens de Negócios. Maybe
I'll put a link, make sure, on
that works.
page.
That works. So if you want to try to venture in the YouTube subtitles, we can definitely go. But when Dan first asked me to come and speak to you, I really, it was yes right away. Just because the way this guy helped me to build my own business, and the mentality for me to sustain the huge adversities along the way, that thing is priceless. So I just, for me, I'm not doing this for audience, not doing this for the money, because I know realistically that very few people are actually going to go look for something, because the content is in another language. So I just really want to spend the time to talk to you, to know you, and to give your audience with the benefits of what listening to you has brought me, in hopes that they can maybe buy what you're selling, because they know that there's a huge value in it. They consume a lot more of your content. They follow you everywhere, because that's what you get when you listen to people like Dan that have gone through it, that have showed the way, and now they're like taking you by their hands and showing you just have to do this. It's simple. It doesn't mean it's easy, but it's simple.
And I truly appreciate that. And I want you to know that this is the beginning of a long-term relationship. Now we've connected. And if I see it's kind of like as your virtual mentor, right? Right? Someone that you listen to, that if you need anything in terms of even growing your SaaS, anything that you might need, reach out to us as well, my team, then I'm happy to be able to add value to what you do as well.
I'm honored, man. Really am.
Definitely. Don't be shy. So reach out. So don't be shy. Seriously. Like I welcome And I'm happy to be able to do that.
So yeah, I'll keep accompanying you every time, anytime you need something in Brazil. We have a substantial network that I really I know you could benefit from. We
Yes.
have lots of startups that I know you're looking
I'm investing
for.
in, I'm looking for sure,
We
for
have
sure.
loads of those, maybe some venture capitalists or private equity companies. We know a
Yes.
lot of them. So
Yes.
if you need anything, please let me know, because I'll put you in touch with them right away.
I appreciate that. So thank you for being on the show, and it's been a great conversation. And when we release, make sure to check out the YouTube channel. And I hope this is one of the stories, as you are my listeners, listening and say, hey, you know what? Maybe you're not going to build a channel with 1 million followers, but you could definitely build some type of audience, some kind of influence. So until then, see you next time.